So, how are you this bright, sunny Friday in August? Actually, this very dull, overcast Friday in August. Don't know where summer's gone. It's been heat waves all over the world, but which have been awful to read about actually, but no summer here at all. But how are you? Hope you're well. We've had a bit of an eventful time since the last podcast. With our little Willowboo puppy, who in between the last podcast and this one, where she was absolutely fine in the last one, she had to have an operation actually because, well, I'm not going to go into details, but we thought she might have eaten something. And so she's just sort of, I'd say she's kind of back to her normal naughty self now. But it's all been very dramatic and traumatic over the last few weeks. The problem with her is she picks up everything. I'm sure all puppies do, but she picks up everything, and we have this thing now where we say to her, trade you, and she literally knows what that means. So she'll come in and she'll drop whatever she's got in her mouth for a treat. Probably not brilliant training because she just picks things up now and she just comes and stands in front of you and thinks, is it worth anything? Are they going to give me anything for this? But anyway, fingers crossed, touch wood, she's fine now. I'm just paranoid. So how are you? How have you been? Have you been doing crafty things? I have been doing quite a lot of sewing and stitching and crochet. So I thought I would I'm going to start off by showing you my stitching, so I get my water out of the way. So I've been, I think in the last podcast I have mentioned the Selvage Chronicles Stitch Club that we were starting, and that was quite overwhelming. We were so overwhelmed by the response to that. For the first one, which was foliage, and what it is, I'll try and put some footage in here. What it is, it's a little box of just stitchy gorgeousness really. It's things, if you wanted to do some slow stitching, if you've new to the podcast, you don't know what slow stitching is, it's just literally making marks on fabric. It's just doing what you want. You've just got your blank canvas, which could be a plain piece of fabric, it could be an old pillowcase, it could be a lovely old quilt, a favourite piece of fabric from an old blouse, anything as a background, and you're stitching on it. It can be a picture, it can just be abstract. But sometimes getting started is a hard thing, and also collating things and bringing things together. So what the Selvage Chronicles Stitch Club is, it's a little box of things that have a theme, and the first one was foliage. I have been carrying on with mine and using the things from the box, and the box went out to, I think it was 11 different countries, and the whole point of this is that you're stitching on your own, but you're stitching with all these other people. So I think that's lovely. So when I literally sit of an evening, I know that lots and lots of other ladies have got the same sort of thing. So we're all stitching differently, but we're all stitching with the same theme. So I'll just show you on here what I've been doing. So I initially, the first kit came with a little fern design, which Christopher did, and some of our hand-dyed thread. So the first thing I did was stitched it, and it was literally a case of stitching over the lines. I used split stitch for a lot of this, but you can use back stitch, you can use any simple stitch you want to cover the lines and to come up with a fern. You could then, if you wanted to, paint the fern, or you could put some little seed stitches in. Do what you like. And then what I did with mine is because I've got the theme of circles all through my nature shade, which I'm doing, I then drew a circle on it and then stitched it down onto my piece of fabric. Depending on what you've got, so although we're all stitching with the fabrics, etc., the pattern that's in there is all the same, some of the vintage bits and pieces that you would have got will be different because, so they're vintage, so I couldn't have an endless supply of the same things, but they've all got slightly different things. On mine I put a little crochet square circle which I had, and then I found this lovely quote about ferns which I've embroidered on, which I absolutely love. And yeah, I'm just going to keep going with it, running stitches. I'm going to continue with my couched sort of wool or whatever that's going all the way through that I'm using to sort of connect all of the circles and connect to the seasons is that's the thinking behind that. So anyway, I've been doing that a little bit every evening. I've also been doing some other embroideries, which I'll show you in a second. I've also started a little lavender embroidery, which I decided to do separately and then add on to my nature journal. And I've also cut out a daisy, designed a little daisy that I want to do. So yeah, that's taking shape. So if you do have that, or if you don't have that, and you just would like to start, doesn't matter when you start a nature journal, by the way, it doesn't matter at all. You don't have to think, oh, it's the beginning of the year or halfway through the year. Just start anytime you like. And it doesn't have to be a big piece. It can just be a little postcard thing if you wanted to. It can be words, it can just be colour themed, it can be anything. But yes, so I've been doing that. And our second one, which is called Our Feathered Friends, is in the shop now, and that is obviously it's got the theme of birds, and there will be a little similar little embroidery in it, a very simple one for you to sort of start you off. But that's lovely. We already started putting that one together, so that's lovely. So thank you so much if you did buy our first club. We were, yeah, it was lovely. We're really pleased. And I think you're going to like the second one as well. So I've been making some little bags, little hearts. So I've always done these sort of embroidery designs where I do the outline of something and then I fill the inside all around the edges with little flowers. And I love doing this because I love picking out the colours for it, and it just sort of, I start by doing one colour, then another colour, then another colour, and by the time you added the fourth colour it starts to come to life, and I love that. So I've made some little bags that are going into the shop this week. Some heart designs, there's a little daisy design, and there is also going to be a cow parsley design which I don't have with me. They're little notions pouches really. I would say it's too small. You could potentially get a teeny tiny project in there, but it's more of a notions pouch keepsake bag, something like that. Or to go inside your handbag. You know, it doesn't have to be for crafting, it can be for your makeup. These are washable, should you use it for makeup, but I would just, any of my bags, I would just say hand wash them and then leave them to dry flat, and obviously don't press the embroidery should you have one of my embroidered bags. So anyway, I've been doing that and I've been really enjoying that. I've got my array of things that I keep with, that I've shown you before, that I keep with me whenever I'm stitching. I've got lots and lots of fabrics, and I've got another couple of embroideries actually that I've started, that I've drawn around, which are then I'm going to start, which is a clematis and some little asters. My stitching is exactly the same as my knitting. I've got about 100 things on the go at the same time. But as I've said before, that's fine. Oh, I'm going to show you this. This I received from a lovely friend, Patty. She's gifted me a couple of absolutely beautiful things in the past. And this, when I opened this, she said to me that she'd be sending me something. Bird's nest where hearts rest. Look at that, and the whole thing, the way it's been presented. Patty, that is in my bedroom. And so when I wake up in the morning, I can see that on my windowsill. So thank you so much, that's just absolutely beautiful. So, as ever, I'm all hot and bothered. Which is, you know, ironic, being as we have no sun. It's just really humid, which is particularly cruel. So yeah, I've been mainly stitching and thoroughly enjoying that. Continuing on my granny square blanket. Started my little bag, but really not enough to show you. The one that I said I was going to do last month. I ummed and ahed about whether I was going to do granny squares or rows going back and forward. But yeah, I'm enjoying that too. So I'm going to show you what's in the shop. So these little bags are going in today. And there will be more of those. But obviously they're hand embroidered, so they take me a lot longer to do. Oh yeah, I'll show you that first. So the Nature Journal box, which is Meadowlands, the current one in the shop, which isn't going to be in there for very much longer because we've got to start sending them out. I'm going to show you the main skein from it. It comes with a 100 gram skein and 5 minis. And it's, you know when you see a meadow and it's past its glory, if you like, and it's all the grass is swaying in the winds, that's the kind of basis of the colour. And then you've got all the little bits of colour from the flowers that you can see. So like there's red clover in there at the moment, all sorts that you can just see peeking through. The mini skeins for this are going to be much more of a pop of colour, but they're a surprise. But I thought I would show you the main skein. So that will come with a little embroidery, 100 gram skein, 5 minis, and a box pouch. There was an embroidered box pouch option, but I can't do too many of those, and those ones have sold out. But that Nature Journal is still available. So I'm going to show you, and we also have our water lilies, which is our botanist club, in the shop as well. We don't have a little bookshelf at the moment though, although there will be that coming soon. We also got our folklore edit. So that's going to be going out next week, or start going out next week. Very often with our boxes in the folklore artisan, did I say the folklore edit? Folklore artisan box. They go out with little prints. So we've actually just invested in it's a gallery quality pigment printer. So it's going to give amazing prints, which we're really excited for. And if you ordered the folklore edit, folklore artisan box, you'll get one of those in there. So that's going out. That will start going out next week. But once they've gone, then we will have a look at our other clubs going up, but we're a bit inundated at the moment. New floral bouquet. This one is Honesty and Zinnia. So this is dried, you know when Honesty dries and you get that beautiful papery, oh, it's delicate and gorgeous. So the main skein is representing that. And then Zinnia is actually, they're quite vibrant flowers, but when they're dried, they dry to this, it's still got its vibrancy, but it's got that edge taken off, and I love it. So that's Honesty and Zinnia. And that is a 100 gram skein, 5 minis. I think we have a few, which I didn't bring along, but a few peony and sweet peas. We re-dyed that one. We did loads of them, and there are a few left in the shop now, I think. But we won't be re-dyeing that one anymore this year. But that's a new one. Honesty and Zinnia. And we've also got another couple. We've got Twilight, which is a mauvey, purpley, pale pink neutrals. I love that one. And this one is in celebration of berries. Willow has learned that she can eat blackberries. I think they're safe for dogs. Wait, I'll say for dogs. I Google everything. Can dogs eat bananas? Can dogs eat this? You know, because she's always picking things up. Quickly Googling can dog. Because funny enough, Monty and Archie were never really interested in blackberries or anything like that. But as I said, she'll eat anything. So yes, blackberries. Blackberry season, which I love. Gosh, Sherry, epic today. So what else? I think that's everything I wanted to say. I'm trying to keep it short. I'm going to do a quick podcast. I said Willow's gone out. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say. Last podcast I told you about a lovely account which was Pins and Needles Stitchery. Liz, which I said was a beautiful account, which it is. Go and have a look. If you love stitching, you will love that. But there's another one that I wanted to tell you about, which is, it's the Appleyard Studio. It's the_Appleyard_studio. That's another lovely account if you love stitching, and also that really shows slow stitching and what you can do creating its work. It's a wonderful account if you like textures and textiles and things like that. So yeah, go and have a look at that one. That's lovely. Anyway, thank you for coming to join me, and happy weekend.